Okay, so this video is for license administrator, managers and administrators to how to add or manage your network license keys. So I'm already logged in as a manager here, so I can get my setup menu. If you only see reports or you don't have access to any of the menus that I'm about to show, it may mean that either you're not set up correctly or you as a client may not have access to network licensing, and you might need to contact us. But yeah, so I'm just going to log in as a manager because that series of menus is a little bit too much. That's better. So you go to customers and find the customer that you're a manager of. I'm going to go with temporary. And then to manage the actual keys themselves, so these are the pass keys that you give to people so they can access the software. You go to setup, and then within setup, you'll go to pools, and then depending on the way that you have your you as a client are set up, you may have more than one pool. This might mean different cost centers have access to different licenses. If you only have one pool here or one pool that's network license based, this is where you will add or edit the passkeys. So the general practice here is that each client or each user will receive their own unique passkey. So this is something that means that you can disable the access to the passkey. So you can have one license but multiple passkeys, and each passkey will attempt to access a license. And if they're not available, they'll receive a message or they'll fall into potentially like an hourly overflow type of license as opposed to an unlimited one. So to add a license, you just right click in here. Add a passkey, sorry, right click, choose add, put in a label. I would generally recommend that you put in the name of the person who you're giving the passkey to, and then potentially an expiry. Now, you would only be doing that if you're planning on providing temporary access, maybe temporary access being given to a consultant who's working for you, that you know that there's a particular length to the access that you want to provide them so they don't continue to have access to your license later on. Otherwise, you can leave the expiry off. I'll show you how to edit that in a moment. And then this is the key that the serial is what you give to the user so they can access their license. Don't provide these in group emails. Treat them like a password. This one's not going to exist for very long through this video. So once you finish with that, don't forget to click update. So it's pretty easy. You can create this and then copy it into an email and then forget to update. And what will happen is you'll come back, let's say half an hour later, and try to update, and your session will have expired. Your login will have expired, so the serial number won't have been kept. So make sure that the first thing that you do once you've generated these key or keys is that you click update. And then if you want to send those keys out, you jump back in after updating and grab the list and start to send them off. So now what I'd be doing is grabbing that key, popping it in an email, explaining to somebody what that access means to them. And then if you do want to expire the key, you basically just either pick a date that's today, yesterday, any time before today's date will expire the key immediately, or any date in the future, will expire at that moment. That's the server time is current time, I believe. So if you are really wanting to be specific about exactly when it expires, I think it's probably based on local time and then converts it back to server time. So whatever time you set will get converted back to. But for the most part, if you really want to be specific about it, you can double check with us. So if I set that expiry date to a day before today's date and select update, what'll happen is in here, so I'll go back into the setup and that license will have been expired. Now that will take up to 5 minutes to sort of progress down the system, so it won't immediately rescind access, but it will rescind it pretty quickly. So you can see like it's technically expired, but it hasn't actually been flagged as expired yet. It takes a few minutes for that system to pass down the system and actually properly get expired. So once that that's how you manage your passkeys. If you have any questions about this, please let us know.